There we go, guys. And welcome everyone then to game number 1 of the first series of today's stream. Today we're going to have 2 series. Starting with this one, we're going to cover some T90 Titans League. We have covered already one series 2 days ago. And we are going to cover another one today. And then after this series, we'll cover the loser brackets final from the Double Cup 3 tournament. If you remember, we had 2 series still left to go for that one. And it got scheduled at a time where I was not aware. So it started taking place a little while ago. And by the time we are done casting these recorded games, that series is going to be over and we are going to cover that one with recorded games. It's not bad. I have already done this before. And actually, there's a lot of people who cannot watch the games live when they are kind of early. So covering the recorded games, even if it's on the same day, still in the end is going to be quite welcome by a lot of people who would otherwise not be able to watch it live anyway. So yeah, Black and Arrow, it was a public holiday in several provinces in my country, not the one I live in, but if it was, I would have chosen to stream anyway, of course. I was going to stream yesterday actually after the match, but you can imagine after the game. It wasn't the thing that I was thinking about the most. I was watching the game at a corner pub. We were talking about how lucky it was that it was only like 2 p.m. when Argentina won. The whole long day to celebrate. Yeah. yeah. Downtown was crazy. In Buenos Aires, everything was also very big, the celebrations and everything. So it seems like the country had a pretty good time. Very happy about it. Did you riot yesterday? Of course not, man. I didn't even go downtown. Burn something? No. As to Noistic and Beery played the T90 Titans League series today. I hope poor Beery wasn't too exhausted. Yeah, hopefully. We are going to cover that set at some point in time as well, so I guess we are going to find out. Well, guys, let's take a look at this one. Starting with the civilizations, as we always do, Andre is going to be playing with Spanish. That means 30% faster working builders, no gold cost for blacksmith upgrades. He also gets, in addition to that, for gunpowder units, 18% faster attacking rate. And for the team bonus, well, the team bonus is going to be for team games, and the other bonus is for water maps, so it doesn't matter. For Philipp, on the other hand, is it Philipp or is it Philippe? I think it's probably Philipp. I think it's Philipp, right? I don't know. But yeah, the red player is going to be playing with Mayans. That means 1 extra villager upon starting the game at the expense of 50 food. They also have a discount on archer type units of 10, 20, and 30% cheaper archer units in the feudal castle and imperial ages. And then on top of that, Mayans will also get 15% longer lasting resources. Team bonus, cheaper walls. And speaking of walls, let's take a look at the map generation for both these guys. Starting with the blue player. Actually, you know what? I cannot take a look at the map generation because I'm a noob and I forgot to set up my tablet. Hold on. Also, because of the Double Cup 3 not taking place by the time that it was meant to take place, and me not streaming yesterday, today is the first day in 2 months or so, I think, that my YouTube channel is not going to have a new video. Otherwise, I've been able to manage to keep it active daily for the most part. Alright, I got the tablet, so let's take a look at the map generation. Once again. There we go. So starting with the blue player, we get the main gold on the left hand side. Over here. And where's the other gold? The other gold is on the right hand side, very far away, so you won't be able to really secure this one. Should be able to get some pretty easy walls from here to here, potentially towards the edge of the map, and then something like from here to here and here to here would be good for him to defend himself, but wouldn't be good for him to secure the resources. So ideally, he would want to go for something like this, which wouldn't really be too expensive, and then he'll be able to save this he'll be able to safeguard this as well, secure it. And then we'll have 1, 2, 3 wool lines for him to work with. Taking a look up in the north instead, Philipp, the red player's got the main goal on the back. Secondary goal is... where is it actually? Oh, on the left-hand side, very far away. This is actually even worse compared to Andre's map generation, I would say. He's already gone for the walls though, so it's gonna be super safe. And he did manage to secure already the goal on the back. He's got the stone over here on the back. But unlike Andre, Philipp does not have a safe woodland to collect from. I mean, he could potentially collect from here. And he is collecting from here. But that's not going to be completely safe. Especially, you know, against the threat of conquistadors coming up in the future. If Andre chooses to go that route, it would not be enough. But interestingly enough, though, Andre already gets to the fuel age. And he won't be fast castling by the looks of it. And he doesn't know where Philipp is. This is so bad. For the blue player, he's got no idea. He went to the fuel age. He starts to go for scouts. And he didn't realize about the walls already from the red player. If he had known about this, he would most definitely have canceled the scouts. He most definitely would have just tried to play for the castle age as opposed to trying to put any aggression up over here. Now he's going to realize it's too late, but he's already gone for 2 additional scouts. So that's 160 resources. He won't be able to, well, not necessarily recover from, but it's certainly going to delay him on his way to the castle age, of course. Alright, Noah, so you get the opportunity to go wild, and you didn't? I expected more from you? Well, you clearly don't know me too well then. There we go, a tower is coming up now for Andre. He kinda has to go for it, I understand it, and if Philipp gets pushed away from this stone is not the worst, he can go back and collect from this one. Although, if he's collecting from the 4-1, he might have realized about this back one a little bit too late. Here comes the tower, though. And Philipp is already aware of it. Here come the villagers from Philipp. Is going to try and defend himself by using just villagers to fight the scouts up. But he ends up losing a villager already. We'll see another villager going down over there for sure. Yes, sir. Tower comes up. And while Andre ends up pushing Philipp away from this stone in front of his base, there is another stone on the back once again that Philipp could potentially go and take advantage of. Instead, he chooses to send the villagers back to the wood, and he's going to be on his way to the castle age already. Meanwhile, Andre, not even close. And this counts to show how important vision is early in the game. If he realized about the walls being up from Philipp, he could have saved those resources. He could have tried to go out to the castle age a little bit earlier instead. And while I don't think he necessarily might have been able to go out to the castle age at about the same time as Philipp, he certainly wouldn't be lagging behind this heavily. So what is the plan for the bull player? Going for the tower 4 means that if he ever wants to go for castles or even TCs, he's going to need to start collecting some stone himself. And so far he's not made a transition yet because he's trying to prioritize the food and gold income, right? So that he can actually click up. Then after he clicks up to the castle age, I would expect him to make a... Okay. He's going for stone right away. He's not gonna wait. It's fine. He already managed to get as many farmers as he needed. So he just takes some of the lumberjacks over. And it's fine, yeah, but after he clicks up to the castle age, wouldn't be surprised to see him make a little bit of a heavier play for stone so that he can go for a castle once he gets to the castle age, right? And that's the play. Hey, Daniela. Hi. So he gets to the castle age first. He's gonna go for the castle himself. Ends up buying the stone that he needs. We'll cast the Hoang set eventually, yes. I don't think today. Probably tomorrow. Unless the two sets that we have to cast are particularly short. So we are casting this one. After this one, we are casting Double Cup 3's Loser Brackets final between Zito and Winchester. And then if that one is not particularly long, then we can potentially cast a third set. We could do Hoang. Let me actually take a look, because I was doing TTL sets in the order that they were posted. The next one is actually Hoang's, yes. Philipp versus Andre was the second set posted. The third set posted was Hoang versus Noel. So that'll be the next in line for sure, either for later today after Double Cup 3 or for, as the first set tomorrow. Beautiful. Andre, he knows about the castle. He's gonna be in the castle age himself in a moment. He did transition a few extra villages over to the stone from 5 to 7. However, he doesn't have enough to go for the castle just yet. Could potentially try and buy the stone that he needs, but he's gonna have to tank his economy a little bit. He needs 200 and has only enough gold for 100, so he's going for a TC, alright? Andre is going to delay the castle here. Significantly so, and Philipp, well, he already managed to get 7 plumed archers out, and this is huge. We'll definitely like to see Philipp try to go for a few extra stone miners over here so that he can collect enough to go for a castle at some point and try to take advantage of his head start to the castle age to go for a castle for the center, claim the tallest hill, of course, and or the highest hill over here. And then Andre for sure would struggle, but as is, we could very well see the bull player actually take a chance and go and try to get a castle up at the center instead. However, Philipp, he already has the plume notchers out, so it's not going to make that easy. Plus, Andre still does not have the resources. He's gone for the second TC, which takes some stone. He's going for the third TC. Just gonna take a little bit more stone as well. As we wait for him to get enough resources for his fortification, the bull player is going to be confined to playing for economy for the most part, which is not bad, of course. And he won't start putting any pressure against Philipp anytime soon, while the red player, on the other hand, is now making a transition to stone miners. So he will look forward to going for a second castle at the center this time around and putting a lock on all the golds around this area with the fortification. There we go. And the castle coming out from Andre is a defensive one, so these players trying to kind of knit their strategies together. Philipp's already shown his hand. He's not interested in going for any extra TCs, even though he's got the resources. He could potentially go for a second one. Going for one extra TC at this point in time is so late already. Yeah, that it doesn't really matter for economy too much. He seemed to be mostly focusing going for full pull archer production, and that is a very interesting thing to do. We already saw Andre in the field age kind of delay himself to go up to the castle age by a lot. By going for scouts, by not getting enough scouting information against Philipp. Now it's going to be the red player instead who is going to kind of delay himself a little bit over here in terms of economy, right? By going for military and archers for the most part, when Andre is the one who is already fully walled up with houses, no less, even stone walls at certain areas. And he's the one with all the safe woodlands over here that we already established at the very beginning of the game. We're going to make him kind of invulnerable to even archer type units. So the same kind of stuff that affected Andre in the field age now is going to affect Philipp. Yeah, and now Andre's finally coming out with the Conquistadors, trying to get some damage down. Well, you can't do nothing but to wish the Bull player good luck over here in his endeavor, because coming out with 2 Conquistadors when Philipp's been in the castle age for so much longer, he had the castle up since so much earlier as well, was able to get so many extra units. 25 Palm Archers versus 7 Conquistadors over here is certainly looking very, very rough for the Bull player if he's going to try to put any pressure. So the way you go about this is you try and take advantage of the stronger economy that Andre's got right now to get ahead in military production later stages of the game as well. And that means try to go out to the Imperial Age, try not to get delayed too much, because Philipp, by staying to 1 TC and going for only archer type units, it's going to save a lot of resources and will be able to go up to the Imperial Age earlier. But Andre's got enough economy over here to try and minimize the delta between both these players clicking up, such a way that he won't give Philipp enough time to go for too many trebuchets, go for it and take the only castle that he was able to get up. We'll see. Certainly had problems, but turn on the games were really great. I see you're talking about Grey Malay. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I said before that it kind of reminded me of Red Bull Wololo 5. Remember? The first day it was super rough. A lot of issues, but then it got better. I think the Grand Malay got so much better for day 3 compared to day 1. Still not flawless, mind you, but yeah. Nice control for Philipp. He's going to take the Magneto down. Does not take a single loss over there to the unit. And now Andre's going to be the one, though, to go for the center castle. And he's going to be the one to click up to the Imperial Age earlier than Philipp. And this is not what I was expecting whatsoever. But now Andre's starting to look a lot stronger. And this is going to put them in a much, much better position. Getting up to the Imperial Age earlier is going to give him the head start in trebuchet production, because he does have 2 castles himself. Should be able to go for double castle treb production. While Philipp, on the other hand, well, Philipp's going to struggle a little bit early on. There's about 50 seconds or so that he needs to offset for, that he's gonna need to keep the castle alive while he goes for his own trebuchets as well. I think people forget how Red Bull Wololo 1 was compared to Red Bull Wololo 6. Yeah, probably, but that happens with everything, right? It seems like we as a species have very poor memory, and I'm going to be just as guilty of it. We forget about things that are comparable to situations we get to live again, and it seems like we just forget everything about the past. But yeah, it certainly reminded me of Red Bull Wololo 5 and Red Bull Wololo 1. I actually don't really remember too much of it. The chat was being weird again in Grand Malay, but I really enjoyed watching. That seemed to also improve in day 3 compared to day 1. I'm not really sure by how much. I didn't get to see the whole thing because it was fairly early for me, but from what I was able to catch in the last day, it seemed to be a lot better. It's a lot of conquistadors right here. Ichipul is very similar between both these guys. A lot of extra pull archers here. Mods were getting bad happy, and it helped a lot. Yeah, I imagine. Oh! Careful, Philipp! He's got all the plume archers. Very, very stacked together, so it takes one big shot over there. Could now losing about 50% of his army. Well, I'll tell you one thing though, and I said this during the last stream as well. I was talking to some of the people who worked in the tournament behind the scenes, right? And there seems to be very much a will to continue to do things in the future, and there seems to be very much a will to improve and to do things better. So I am optimistic about the future in that regard. There we go. We have to cherish it still for Andre. He ended up taking some losses already, and Philipp. Philipp's been able to hold on over here. Actually, he's got 4 cherishes compared to Andre's 2, despite the fact that the bull player was earlier to the Imperial Age. And the economy certainly favored Andre for sure. Philipp's got a lot of pull archers, but he's gotta be careful. A lot of upgrades still missing for these guys. These are not elite. These do not even have their arch armors, not even +1/+1. But the numbers are keeping him alive. This castle crumbles right now from Andre. He's got 3 cherishes left to work with. He could have gotten the castle down already from the red player if he had targeted this as opposed to trying to target the cherishes. I'm not exactly sure why he decided to target the cherishes over here versus the castle. He could have taken this one down already, and he's been struggling big time now. We have about 16 conquistadors over here, 15, 25 pulled archers. As the red player gets pushed away, he loses a lot of HP over here compared to Andre, especially because of the hill advantage over there. The blue player was taking advantage of it, and that was absolutely fantastic. The trebuchets go down from Philipp. Only 2 left, and now Andre is going for another castle at the center. He's got the bombard cannon as well. So he will be taking these trebuchets down if Philipp's not paying attention. Would like to see you on stage as well. Well, who knows, man? Maybe in the future I'll get to participate in one of these LAN events. No, it was yesterday's World Cup finals on the city. Interesting. Yes, a lot of people went out to celebrate downtown, and it was crowded. It was crowded. Not only here, but across the country, of course. In Buenos Aires, around the obelisk. So many people gather over there as well. You know, in several provinces, nice castle. Snipe over there. In several provinces actually declared kind of a no work day today. I'm not really sure how you call it. Yeah, Philipp calls it GG. Well, he was on the back foot. Wasn't able to reclaim the center, or actually claim it for the first time, as it was always under Andre's possession. And he wasn't able to make the Pullman Archer play work against the Conquistadors. Every time he tried to take the engagement, Andre would just fall back towards the hill. And Philipp wouldn't be able to do anything about it. So that's going to be 1-0 in favor of the bull player. Not the McDonald's? No. At the very least, I don't think anything happened to the McDonald's. If anything happened to it, you probably know it better than I do. Anywho, taking a look at the achievements, we see a better military graph over here for Andre. He ended up getting a very close to 7 to 4 KD ratio. Given the fact he was playing with Conquistadors, right? It was kind of necessary. If he had gotten a lower KD compared to that, it would not have been cost effective. In any case, he did also manage to collect about 14,000 extra resources. That was about 50% stronger economy compared to Philipp. And that puts him in a very, very good position, of course. So that tells me that even if he took a worse trade over here for KD, he'd still would have come out on top anyway, just because how many extra resources he was able to get, how many extra units he would have been able to afford anyway. There's only so much the very cost-effective Mayan civilization is going to be able to offset for, and this was well beyond that, I will say. So yeah, well played. And here we go. Yes, sir. For game number 2, Andre's gonna play up in the north, the students. And Philipp is gonna be playing down the south as Burgundians. Now, this is a very interesting version of 45 clearing. Because while the center is going to be walled off, the back is going to be completely open. So that means that you could get some aggression early on in the game. But you're gonna have to go around the map towards the back of your enemy's base. While if you want to put pressure at the center, of course, you're going to be closer to your enemy. But obviously, the stone walls are going to provide great protection here. Taking a look at the civs, starting with Andre. With Titans, we're going to see the ability to garrison 5 and 10 extra village inside towers and TCs, from where they can shoot out to 4 and 5 extra arrows. Besides that, we also have for Titans free murder holes. They get free herbal medicines, as well as 1 and 2 extra melee armor on barracks and stable units in the castle and Imperial Ages. And on top of that, we'll see for the Titans extra range, twice the healing range for monks. They get cheaper farms too, which I think I might not have mentioned so far. Then for the team bonus, finally, we're going to see the Titans get 1 and 2 extra seconds for the minimum and maximum conversion times. And the conversion chances get decreased by half when trying to convert Titan units. Philipp playing with Burgundians instead gets a discount, a food discount on eco upgrades, and gets access to eco upgrades 1 each earlier. It's going to have 25% higher attack and gunpowder units. There we are. As well as access to the cavalry upgrade in the castle age and the 50% discount on stable upgrades. While for the team bonus, they generate food from relics in addition to gold. Hello! Hey, how are you doing? Hi. Welcome. Hope you're doing alright. Hope everything's going alright. Hope everything's going alright with the baby as well. It was a baby girl, right? If I recall correctly. Doing well, hope everything's okay. Down Argentina with a huge win. Yes, yes. It's the first World Cup victory that I get to witness in my lifetime. Last time was 36 years ago. I'm a little bit too new for that. She's amazing. That's great to hear. That's great to hear. Gonna be a huge parade. I do know. I have not really been keeping track of it too much at all. I just saw that they were celebrating, gathering around different points of the country yesterday, and then I have no idea what they're going to do today anymore. You know, congrats for Argentina. Justice was made, the best team won, and also Messi totally deserved that World Cup. Thank you so much, Jareka. It also means a lot, of course. And that is a nice villager pick over here, by the way, from Andre. But yes, Jareka, that also means a lot, of course, for an Argentinian to hear from a Brazilian, too. So it's very much appreciated. And yeah, it was good. It was good. You know, I'll be honest. I came into the World Cup with very, I would say, moderate expectations. I'm not a big football guy, so I did not really care about the World Cup too much. But obviously, I would like for the team to win, and that's going to be so good for the rest of the country as well. The whole population at large is going to be so happy because of it. But because of the result in the previous World Cups, I was probably expecting the team to get maybe to quarterfinals, and then in the end they got to quarterfinals, and then they got to semifinals, and then they got to the finals, and I was like, okay, I don't know about this, man. You know, the path towards the finals seemed to be a little bit easier compared to some of the other teams. Right, the teams that Argentina had to face in the round of 8 and the round of 4 and the semifinals. Of course, Croatia was not going to be an easy team to beat, but it seemed like it was not anywhere near as hard, right? Like Croatia had to play versus Brazil. Argentina did not have to play versus Brazil. So I was kind of worried about playing versus France, but yeah, well, in the end, the team proved that they had what it took. Netherlands, no joke, man. Yeah, that's true. Well, the team said that there were no easy matches, you know, in the knockout stage anymore. So even Australia, you know, you never knew, right? After all, we had like that crazy Japan versus Germany match. So you never really know, I guess. Hello Nova, I was just watching your participation on Mancos. How much do you know about H? Everything very good. Cheers. Thank you, Noel. Appreciate it. Speaking of violence, I had a work colleague in Brazil during 1/8. Oh, some atmosphere, to say the least. Yeah. South Americans can be extremely passionate about football. Guys, Philipp is taking so much longer to go up to the field edge, but he has taken the time also to get the palisade walls up on the left hand side. And also, sorry, if you're watching this on YouTube as well and you're not watching this live on Twitch, it might seem weird that I'm talking about something not related to Age of Empires for such a long time, but I hope you'll understand that the World Cup was kind of a big deal here in Argentina, so I'm gonna try not to distract myself too much with it. But yeah, if I were a more standard Argentinian person, I would probably not stop talking about it during the whole stream, so it could be worse, alright? I'm gonna try to focus on the game once again. There we go, the Minotaurs are coming in. It did not take too long for Andre to breach through. Now he's got an archer range over here. An archer range that Philipp does not have vision of. So this could be really good for Andre. He's already up 1-0. Putting pressure. Doesn't have enough stone to go for yet another tower, but he doesn't need to. With the archers coming out already, we'll be able to start putting pressure against the villagers over here. And, well, Philipp's, you know, probably expecting... Well, now that he sees the archer, he knows for sure there's got to be an archer range somewhere. But he might have expected an archer range to be coming up over there just because how longer it took for the villagers to get to the berry bushes over here compared to when they actually breached through the left-hand side palaces, right? So, in any case, Philipp was still trying to make a play for the castle edge over here, and he's got the resource right now. He's got the buildings, he's just got to click up, and he does go up to the castle edge already! Yes, sir! Defense tower is coming up now for the red player, and Andre's gotta do so much damage over here to offset for the much earlier castle edge time that Philipp's gonna get. Those of us know. Keep on with the good vibes. Yeah, thank you, Turnip. It's been good. It's been good. The last couple of years were overall nice. Except for the loss of Little Pirate last year. Everything else seemed to be pretty alright. 2020 with Terranova finally hosted my first B tier tournament. 2021 participated in a lot of other tournaments as well. 2022 S tier tournaments as well with the RMS Cup 2. Now the World Cup, the American Cup as well earlier too. And there are some things that I cannot really talk about in public that have been going behind the scenes that I am very, very happy and optimistic about. So I don't think 2023 is going to get any worse, man. You know, after 2021, sorry, Red Bull Wallow Unthrone, I thought there is no way we can top this up, right? This gotta be peak Age of Empires. And well, 2022 proved that I was wrong, and I don't know what we are going to get for 2023. I don't know that we are going to have another $500,000 tournament. After all, that was a very special occasion because of the 25th anniversary. But yeah, I didn't expect the action around Age of Empires to slow down anytime soon. That's very good for me as a content creator, of course, as a caster for my career, and that's going to be fantastic for anybody looking forward to seeing some more Age of Empires content as well for all the viewers and everyone around the community, even the players, obviously. So it can just get better, man. 2023 is gonna be a great year, I'm telling you, and I hope you are hopefully as excited and as optimistic as I am about it. So Philipp so far managed to get to the castle age much earlier. He's got a siege workshop, he's got a monastery, he's going in for the shot, and he's got a nice shot over there, taking the scouts down. 4 archers left, 3 men at arms. Won't hold a candle against siege. We'll see a big shot coming up over there. Nice reaction from Andre. Still ends up losing 1 archer. Yeah, and there's no way these Minotaurs will take the mantle down, right? DC is going to take care of the Minotaurs. Now the mantle takes the final archer down, and Philipp completely cleans up his base from Andre's presence over there. Now all he's got to do is try and get extra TCs up as well. He's struggled because I haven't to go for the tower earlier. He struggled because I haven't to defend against Andre's remaining units, right? But at this point in time, well, when the blue player is going after the castle age, Philipp's going to have the opportunity of catching up in worker count. He's going to have the opportunity to stabilize, and potentially he's going to get the opportunity as well to start pulling ahead if he is able to get the extra TCs up. For the time being, he's managed to get enough stone. He does not have enough wood, so he needs to fix that issue right now. It's been a strong defense, yes. Redemption and convert range? Yeah. Well, he's got the monks already. He's been the first player going out and trying to collect the relics. After all, 45 clearing is going to have an arena-like relic generation at the center. Is not exactly the same, because we also have relics outside, but at the center we do have 5. So Philipp's already collected 2. And because Andre can only now go for a monastery, he's not even going for it. He's going for a TC right away. So yeah, because the blue player is not going for a monastery, Philipp should end up securing all 5 relics from the center. And then outside, we take a look at the map generation for resources. We'll see that there is 1 extra relic on the left-hand side. That's going to be in between both these bases, favoring, though, Andre a little bit. And then on the right-hand side, we have 2 relics. This one is going to be contested. This one is going to be contested. These are going to favor Philipp and no one, respectively. I would say Philipp's significantly closer to this one, and nobody is significantly close to this one. But then this one will favor Andre. So between this one and this one, the blue player does have 2 relics to potentially collect from outside. Meanwhile, there's only 1 over here that Philipp would, let's say, kind of secure or be able to secure easily because of having it closer to his base. This one is going to be contested. However, because he's also the only player going for the center relics, in the end, it might not make much of a difference. Even if Andre managed to get all 4 relics from around the map, outside the map, right, Philipp would still be ahead with 5 out of 9. Philipp seems to be playing for the Imperial Age, interestingly enough. It's going to be sticking to 1 TC. Okay. It's just going to be a... I don't think it's going to be a full monk play against the Teutons. That'll be questionable. So what is the plan for Philipp over here? 25% higher attack gunpowder units. So we could see hand cannoneer and bombard cannons, perhaps? He's got a siege workshop already. Well, unlike Bohemians, he's gonna go for chemistry early on, so that'll delay his push quite a bit. He will need to get to the Imperial Age, then go for chemistry, and only then be able to start pumping the bombard cannons. And because he's got the siege workshop far behind over here, wouldn't really be able to start putting too much pressure early on, right? Ideally, he will need to go for, the red player is gonna need to go for a siege workshop, probably forward, right? Around this area. start putting pressure from here. We'll see. So I didn't follow the World Cup, but I'm Mexican. Lots of us do not support that joke song that was made versus Argentina related to the Malvinas War. I think Latin Americans should stick together, not attack others so harshly over the sport. Well, yeah, you know, I'm not a very tribal person, so I'm all for humanity sticking together and not having divisions, right? Either Argentinians versus other people, or Latin Americans versus other people, or Americans as a whole continent versus other continents. You know, I just want to be friends with everyone. But, yeah, you're always going to have a subset of people who will still feel like we need to be us against them. So you might have a joke song about Argentina and what is the name in English? The Fallout. Yeah, actually, I don't remember. It was something about the Falk Islands, but there are also a lot of joke songs in Argentina about other countries, and I do not appreciate it. As a matter of fact, we had during the World Cup a lot of people singing "Who doesn't jump is an English man," or "El que no salta es un inglés," as they say in Spanish. I don't know, it just seems so backwards to me. Certainly do not support it from other countries, do not support it from Argentina either. Falkland Islands, yeah, there we go, thank you, guys. Little prize incoming. Yeah. Two monasteries over here. Andrew is gonna make a play for monks himself. He's getting to the Imperial Age. He's got chemistry coming up. Meanwhile, Philipp, he got to the Imperial Age and is not going for chemistry himself. Yeah. Take a look. Standard projectiles for these. I'll tell you, the only circumstance in which I would kind of support an us against them type of mentality would be against tyranny of sorts, but just against the tyrants, not against the people, right? If you want to raise against an oppressed nation, don't just stick all the citizens who might not be related to that together either. Anyway, I didn't mean to talk politics or any of that in the stream, sorry. Illumination was coming out, the monasteries go down though, so Andre cannot get the researches he was going for. He's got one more monastery left behind. So far he's only been able to get 5 monks out, so that is not a lot. And here comes Philipp, he's going for a full light cavalry push. He's got some Cossier over here, and Andre, the moment he sees the light cavalry come in, goes on to call the GG, and Philipp, guys, he equalizes this. And then we'll jump into game number 3 with a tied up series, as Andre dominated game number 1, but Philipp did a really, really good job in game number 2 over here, taking advantage of the arena style map over here to go up to the Castle Age earlier, to go up to the Imperial Age, Fast Imp, and go for full pressure over here. That was really well played. Let's go and take a look at the achievements, as usual. We'll see for military first. A bit of KD for Philipp. In the end, it's going to be about 9-4. While for... oh, it's actually exactly 9-4. Economy, we'll see also a stronger economy for Andre instead. He did go for the extra TCs, of course, but you got to keep in mind that for the 1,500 extra resources he was able to get, he needed to pay for the second and third TCs, all the extra villages he produced compared to Philipp, as well as the extra farms, and basically all the economy setup that would have allowed him to get ahead in later stages of the game, but certainly prevented him from being able to defend against Philipp's push when the red player, of course, was able to divert his entire economy towards just military production, right? So you see Andre, a lot of extra villagers for sure. didn't matter. It didn't really pay off in the end. Philipp didn't really allow it. And here we are. Game number 3. This one is going to break the tie and put one of these players on the lead. As game 4 was always going to be match point, right, in the best of 5. We'll see who that is going to favor. For the players, the civilization started with Andre up in the north. He's playing with Berbers. Philipp down the south is playing with Chinese. And up in the north, the Berbers will provide Andre 15 and 20% cheaper, stable unit production in the castle and Imperial Ages. We also have 10% faster moving villagers and access to Genitor as a team bonus. Philipp down south, playing with Chinese, will get 3 extra villagers upon starting the game at the expense of 200 food and 50 wood. We also have for the red player civilization 5 extra line of sight and 5 higher population support per TCs. With an additional 10, 15 and 20% discount for upgrades in the Field Castle and Imperial Ages, the Chinese are a very strong civilization to play with. And then on top of all of that, we'll see for Chinese also for the team bonus, 10% extra food on farms for free. Philipp really does not believe in economy. Let's take a look at the map generation for Andre. Starting with the wool player over here, he does have the main goal on the back. He's got the secondary goal on the right hand side, and this is Serengeti, so you're not going to have the same standard resources you would get compared to Arabia. So the main goal, for instance, is not quite as substantial compared to Arabia. The secondary goal is going to be kind of like a neutral one with, you know, for Arabia, this would be a neutral one with only 3 tiles. And for stone, on the other hand, Andre does have the main stone forward, and the secondary stone over here is going to be on the right-hand side, around the wool line, so not the best location for it. We could talk about the possibility for walls over here, but truth be told, the map is very open. The woodlands over here are super, super patchy, so it's very difficult, you know, to get much of anything done in terms of walls over here. You have to go for something kind of weird like this, and then from here to here, and just close the gaps everywhere. I don't think we're going to see the players try to go for that instead. I think this is going to be mostly an aggressive type map where the players will try to keep the attention around the other side of the map so that they do not really need to rely on walls. Now, that being said though, having said that, I think that Philipp does seem to have a little bit of a stronger map over here, a little bit of a better map. Check this out. He's got the main goal on the back. He's got the secondary goal on the back as well. It's got the main stone on the right hand side, and the secondary stone is going to be kind of forward, but he does have a lot of extra woodlands over here closer together. So if he just dragged a wall from here to here, and the wall automatically closes the gaps, right? This is actually a little bit easier to defend for him, and then he can go for some walls on the right hand side like this. And he doesn't need to rely on the forest to secure himself. He can just go for something like from here to here and here to here, and that'll be enough for him to secure both these goals on the back, for him to secure the wall line on the back as well. And yeah, I'm liking the red's map a lot better. Here we go. PLH is on the way for both these players already. Philipp's gonna be the first one to go up though. Interestingly enough. 20 population. This is not something that you necessarily expect to see from the Chinese. Usually they take a little longer to go up, because starting with fewer resources, but Philipp's done a really good job pushing the ostriches over to the TC, taking advantage of the extra resources for free. So it's going to be the first one to get to the field age, and I am expecting to see full scout production here for Philipp. Nice drawing skills. Yeah. That's what I'm shooting for. Anyway, guys, would you have any predictions if you had not seen it? And I would imagine many of you watching the stream right now probably didn't see the series when it took place live. But I would like to know what your predictions would have been if this was taking place live, of course. So Philipp's already in the fuel age. He's got a stable on the way with 2 villagers. It's very standard, exactly what we expect. He's not gone for the walls that I was suggesting. That is fine anyway. Taking a look at Andre. There we go. He's got his own stable coming up. And scouts are on the way for both these guys. Philipp's still about a villager ahead because of the Chinese bonus. He ended up getting a lot of idle TC time though. Some of that gets offset for, and the villager lead over here for Philipp's going to alternate between 2 and 1 extra villager depending on the time. Yeah, going down from 2 extra villagers to only 1 extra villager in the span of 10 seconds or so. And here come the scouts. So we have 3 already for Philipp. We have the spearman over there. Meanwhile, Andre, he's got 1 spearman to defend himself as well. 2 scouts. And Philipp, despite being up against a player with a defender's advantage, has actually managed to get a stronger army over here. And here comes Andre. He was going forward, but Philipp intercepts the army right away. Since the spearmen are going down over here, and I don't see Andre's spearman. Yeah, there we go. He's just gone for another one. One for one. That was not a good trade for Philipp, by the way. He ended up getting a lot of HP lost. But he's turning around right now. He's going to try and take the engagement. That's going to be 3 versus 5 scouts. Now that we see 1 extra coming out from the red player, it's going to make it very difficult for Andre to defend himself. He does manage to pull the scouts out before he takes too many losses. And he does bring the spearman forward as well. So that's going to prevent Philipp from sticking around. But this could be a very, very important engagement. If Philipp engages over here and comes out on top, what does Andre do to defend himself with? Remember, 15 and 30% cheaper units from the stables only going to affect the Berbers once they get to the castle age. Meanwhile, Philipp already gets 15% cheaper upgrades in the castle age. He already gets to reap the benefits of the stronger economy he got due to the extra villagers. And as a matter of fact, if we take a look at the gather economy time, he's already managed to get about 10 minutes of extra gather economy time, which is going to represent about 200 extra resources, and that should be enough for about 2 extra scouts. And right now we see a lot of extra units for the red player with a heal advantage over there for Andre. He's bringing a villager over to fight as well, and it seems like Philipp is gonna get cleaned up over here, will he? He won't! He won't! The numbers are going to trump the heal advantage over here, and regardless, Philipp's gonna stay on top. This is bringing the scouts over to the wood line. It's very important for Andre to defend himself successfully over here. So he does bring the villagers over and pushes Philipp's units away. Thus keeps his economy alive for a little longer. But Philipp's was able to get an overall alright trade over there. All things considered, could have been a lot worse. But Andre is going to be the one who ultimately comes out on top in terms of KD. 5-4. Favoring the blue player. Hey Tim Frick, hi, welcome back as well. Hope you're doing alright. There we go. Fantastic. Oh, scout going down though from Philipp. He was looking a little bit stronger now. That is not the case anymore. Dead even military count. It's going to be Andre, the one trying to put pressure forward. Very unlikely to achieve much of anything, as Philipp's got all his units defensively. Well, many of Andre's units are back home, and for the most part, it's going to also consist of a larger amount of spearmen compared to what Philipp's got available. So overall, the scout count is still higher for the red player. Well, not anymore. Andre has managed to get a few extra units over here, while Philipp's going for archers instead. So the red player's army is going to be a little bit more diverse, a little bit more versatile because of it. Andre's army, on the other hand, not so much. The archers, though, they're getting caught completely off guard. Out in the open, in the middle of nowhere, in Philipp's units. The extra scouts are just chasing the scouts away from Andre, so he cannot really defend the archers over here. He's going to get completely cleaned up. Well, you know, Philipp's economy was looking stronger. He was getting very close to having enough resources to go up to the castle age. However, he ended up going for wheelbarrow over there instead. Because of it, the village account is going to be mainly the same right now for both these players. Though Andre also has gone for wheelbarrow himself. We take a look at their economy time, and it was looking better earlier for Philipp. Now it's still looking better for him. He's got about 13 to 14 minutes of extra gather economy time, but it's not anywhere near as good as it was before. In terms of proportion, right? Like the proportional lead that he had before was a little bit larger. Here we go.
Azul. Here.
Beautiful. Philipp's just roaming around. He's going to keep the scouts alive for the most part. On the left-hand side, we have the scouts from Andre, the remaining scouts trying to put pressure. Not really gonna be able to do anything as Philipp's already gone for the walls, and this is a much greedier wallout than what I was suggesting earlier. But it's also great because it gives him more extra, it gives him some extra space to work with, potentially go for extra farms in the future, extra TCs. But now the castle is on the way for both these players at about the same time, only 2 seconds faster for Andre. Military count better for Andre. He's got 10 scouts right now. Once he gets to the castle edge, of course, he can go for light cavalry. Philipp's just going to keep on sticking to archer production. He's got a few archers coming out, pushing Andre's scouts away. His second archer range is behind the walls, so Andre doesn't know about it. And that is so close, though! If he brought one scout over to this little nook over there in between the trees, he actually would have been able to spot the archer range, but he cannot see it. Yeah. Castle Age is here for both these guys. And we have a Baki arrow upgrade, crossman upgrade coming in for Philipp. Bowsaw, Andre's got chain, Barden armor, and husbandry, so it's gonna be full cavalry as you're expecting to see from Berbers, right? And full archery from Philipp. Now, this is not necessarily what you expect to see from Chinese because they are a super versatile civilization, you can go for almost anything. But of course, going for cavalry against Berbers in the Castle Age is going to be much pricier for you for the most part, you know, unless you're playing a very specific civilization, maybe, I don't know, like, you know, Gujaras with Kshatriyas or Poles with Shakta privileges, right? But here come the archers. Shoot and struggle. He's got some camels for Amichel as well, so shoot and struggle against light cavalry, and he won't. Light cavalry are getting completely wiped out. that will give Andre a heads up as to what the army composition is from Philipp that's coming his way now, though. So let's see. Here we go. Camels are pushing the knights away. Yeah, and Andrew's got triple stable production coming up over here. 12 knights so far. A lot of these are garrisoned inside the stables. And you know what? I think if he unleashes everything, I think he actually comes out on top over here. But he needs to get a very good surround going against the archers. Well, Philipp's gonna keep on going for more and more crosses. I think this could be going in favor of Andre, guys. A big engagement is coming up very soon. He's just got to be extremely careful not to let Philipp take advantage of the hill over here himself. Yeah, and there we go. As Philipp's coming out, this could be really good. And here come the knights. We see the camels over there underneath the TC getting completely pushed out by the knights, and that is a very respectable amount of units from the Wu player that he's going to try and go forward with. About 14 knights should be enough for him to take 2 measly camels over here, make the 3 measly camels, and a lot of exposed crossbows in the middle of nowhere, out in the open. So there go the camels, completely deflate before the presence of these knights. And Philipp might have lost some villagers. That's not going to be the end of it, right? The camel's going down over there, and still a significant amount of knights left. Andre, he's gotta come forward, try to get this run going, and that's been an issue though. Philipp's done a really good job trying to keep the crosses alive, kiting. But now he's getting completely surrounded, and there we go! We have a hill advantage. Philipp recognizes he won't be able to keep on going without the army anymore, as he was getting completely wiped out. Andre takes game number 3 to get himself the winning position over here with a partial score of 2-1. And of course, game number 4 will be match point. And we'll take a look at what that one is like in a moment. Let's go through the achievements first. But yeah, Andre already match point. Philipp in the next game needs to take that one. Needs to take game number 5 as well. No extra chances for Philipp. For the achievements, 2-1 kill ratio for Andre. We'll see for economy, a stronger economy for the Bull player, interestingly enough, despite Philipp having a higher gather economy time earlier in the game. But this is going to be about 1100 extra resources for Andre. We take a look at society and see that Andre was the player with the most villagers produced throughout the game. He was the player to take the fewest losses too, while Philipp ended up losing about 8 villagers throughout the game. Andre just played a very solid game of Age of Empires and put himself in a winning position. He needs 1 game out of 2 remaining ones when he's currently at a 66% win rate after the first 3 ones. And there we are. T90 loves himself some houseboat. I would imagine this is a very interesting map, to be fair. I haven't seen it in a while, but it seems like we have a few changes for this version. Wait, hold on. Is this just for aesthetics? It's gotta be just for aesthetics, because if you have a mangrove terrain over here, 3TC house will start. Oh, you're such a devious individual, mister. Yeah, because if this was actually shallows or mangrove, then the villagers will be able to just walk. I don't think that is possible, right? It kind of defeats the whole point of houseboat. So I think, yeah, I think this is just aesthetic. So anyway, for game number 4 over here, for the civilizations and player positions and map generations, we're gonna see that Andre on the left-hand side, he's got Italians. He's going to have with this civilization a 30% discount on gunpowder units, as well as a 15% discount on fishing ships. He also gets a 15% discount to go out to the next stage. In addition to that, dock and university upgrades will be cheaper too, and the team bonus They get access to conductivity from the barracks in the Imperial Age. Let me take a look at the patch notes for the last update, because I have a feeling that the Italians got affected by it, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me take a look. Age of Empires 2, patch notes. Italians. Yeah, I think I might just be misrecalling because there's nothing new. Okay. So it's all same old. Philipp, on the other hand, playing with Lithuanians. Begins with 150 extra food. Besides that, we're gonna see for the red player that we have 10% fast movement skirmish spearline units, 1 extra attack on knights and light units per each relic garrison, up to 4 relics, and for the team bonus 20% faster working monasteries, so it makes relic collection definitely a little bit easier. Duck's already up for Andre, and he's gone for the duck outside. And this is very interesting. This is what I remember that this is what we saw in Wandering Warriors Cup, right? Where sometimes the players would decide to go for the dock right next to the TC, and sometimes they would decide to go for the dock outside. I am going to be the one to favor the dock outside, and not just the dock outside, but I prefer the dock to be outside and to be forward as well. So for the red player, if he had gone for the dock over here, let's say, that would have been really good, because from this position, he gets the vision that he needs to potentially spot any sneaky ducks coming in, right? Which have been really popular on this map also during the tournament, so. No one's going for that, though. The dock outside for Andre is going to be on the back, which is also good. He can use this as part of the walls. And for Philipp, yeah, it's just going to be inside. There we go. Yeah, and so far, it's been pretty uneventful, as you're expecting to be the case on this map. You're kind of forced into going for fishing ships, otherwise you fall behind, which also pushes your fuel time a little bit. Let's take a look at the map generation, though. And what do we get for the bull player? We're gonna have 1 goal on the back. We have 1 goal on the left-hand side, 1 goal on the right-hand side over here. So he's kind of surrounded by golds, 1 forward even. And then stones as well everywhere, right? So 1 over here, 1 over here. What else? 1 over here. Yeah. Because he's already going for the walls over here, if he goes for the walls towards the water, he should be able to secure that. Wood lines should be able to secure the berries, should be able to secure the gold. That's good. The stone, not so much, though. He wouldn't have access to any of the stones. Well, if we take a look at the map generation for the red player, yeah, he's got... Well, he's not anywhere near as close to the edge of the map, so he cannot go for the same type of walls, and he's got 1 goal forward, 1 goal to the side, another goal forward over here, another goal on the back over here, but it's going to be much harder for him to defend himself because of that. Here come the sneaky dogs, though, from Philipp. He brought 2 villagers over, actually. He's going for double forward dog. Well, Andre, on the other hand, well, he knows about this, but he cannot do anything. Dogs already come up, and Philipp's gonna be the first player to get to the field, so we're gonna see already a fire galley coming out. Meanwhile, Andre's going for a dog himself. This one's going to be the second one for him as well, because Philipp's got a head start to the castle age, to the field age rather. Should still be able to outproduce Andre, or at the very least get the units out a little bit sooner, right? And if he plays his cards right, after all, we have 2 villagers over here. he could do so much damage. I gotta wonder though, the head start to the fuel age from Andre would have allowed him to go potentially for a demolition raft and go after the fishing ships, which would have affected the economy from Andre from the very beginning, but would have made it significantly harder for Philipp to get a better engagement on water, because by the time he got the demolition raft out, Philipp was already going to have the fire galleys halfway through. So he was going to outproduce Philipp, and just going for standard fire galleys over here is still going to allow him to get the fishing ships down anyway. So it's not too bad, you know, and this of course gives him the head start in production. And it seems like he's going to get 3 down. Andre is sending a villager forward to try and go and give Philipp a taste of his own medicine as well. But so far, he's been the only one having any of it. There we go. For Doc, and you take a look at Philipp, and Philipp's got no idea about it. But he is trying to go for a fire galley over here. He got housed for a little bit, but he's going for a fire galley just in case. And it seems like Andre might not be able to do anywhere near as much damage as Philipp's been able to do so far. And taking a look at the engagement forward, it's looking better for the red player for sure. Andre is now garrisoning the TC, so having the fire engage over there close to the TC doesn't really make too much of a difference. And very important for Philipp to pay attention over there. He doesn't die coming out on top. No! He's going to end up taking 1 over there, but he's going to lose 1 himself as well. Now he's got a bail. Try to reset the HP of this one specifically. And where are the villagers? He's got both these villagers over here completely out of position. And that is a nice demo raft coming out. And that could be a good shot. And it's going to be a little bit of a waste of 1. Not gonna lie. He's got 1 fire galley left over here. Should be able to come out on top, and he will. Yes, sir. Check that out. Well done. Well played. Nicely done. Andre gets taken down over there as Philipp's unit control over here was really good. And then on the right-hand side, well, Andre's got the first fire galley coming up, but unfortunately, he's going to be facing 2 from Philipp already, and the red player should be able to defend himself successfully over here as well. Good unit control from Philipp prevents Andre from taking the fire galley down, and now this one is going down for sure. There we go. If Andre plays his cards right, he's going to target the weak one, but he doesn't. And that's the fire galley going down. Doesn't seem like the bull player is going to have too many chances in this one, and Philipp's just played this game so well. From the double sneaky dogs over there to the fantastic unit control so far, he's been able to put himself in a position where it seems like Philipp almost cannot lose anymore, right? 13-5 kill ratio, better than 2-1, very close to 3-1 kill ratio for the red player. Yeah, and it seems like he's going to take this one down as well. This is a fantastic moment for Andre to try and make a play for a demolition, to be fair, but yeah, it's trying to, yeah, it's just going to cancel the fire galley he was going for over there. I think the best value he could get would be by going for a demolition wrap, but now it's a little bit too late. Philipp's already realized about his units being too clumped together, so he's just trying to space these out a little bit. And it's gonna be fine. Should be fine anyway. ILT's down for Philipp? Yes. By having taken the fishing ships down over here, he kind of mitigates for that by having the fishing ships himself only, right? But yeah, it's not been the best. His unit control has certainly come at the cost of macro. Good job once again. Demolition? Yes, demolition raft's already on the way. Here come the demos though from red, and that is a nice shot. Doesn't that chunk in a bunch of HP of the villagers? Let's see if Philipp will be able to hold on over here. The HP pool is not looking quite as good for him, despite having extra units. And here comes demo raft. Not going to be good enough for Philipp by the looks of it, but it was good enough to at the very least break Andre's army up. Yeah, and Philipp's still looking stronger over here. Andre is going out to the castle edge a little bit earlier. Philipp should be able to click up very soon as well. He's missing 1 building and he's missing a few extra resources. Meanwhile, Andre is Gonna try and make a play for a land push, but it looks like it's got a blacksmith already. So we'll see. Fantastic. There we go. Good shot. Good shot. Still looking stronger forward. Has been able to successfully defend on the back as well, taking the dog down from Andre. And Rosa, my man, celebrated a little too much last night after a victory. Let's go. Don't think I can celebrate their anniversary tonight. 36 months, 3 years straight, Rosa, man. Thank you so much for the extended support, of course. It's very much appreciated, and I'm happy to see that you hopefully celebrated for both of us, as I didn't really do much besides just staying at home, taking the day off, and, you know, watching a few movies, having pizza. That was good. Having pizza, just relaxing, you know. I actually had to keep myself from studying because I'm just so excited about the stuff that I'm studying right now that I wanted to do it, but I said no. Just take the day off and be completely inefficient and unproductive, and I had to force myself to do it, but it was good. And sometimes you kind of need that to wind down a little bit. Cavalry Archers coming out now for Andre. Hey B, hi. How's the celebration yesterday? It was chill. For me, it was chill. For a lot of people, it was a lot more hardcore. Yeah. Oh, nice. Fire Galleys going down to the Cavalry Archers. Do you guys enjoy Fugaza? I had no idea about it. It looks amazing. Oh yeah, it is so good. Wow! I'm just going to go on and call the GG over here. I didn't think it was going to do it because he had the Cavalry Archers forward and he was putting some pressure, taking the Fire Galleys down, but it seems like it's going to take just 2 knights over here from Philipp. Plus the water control, right, for him to call the GG. Well, to be fair, Andre has been on the back foot over here for a while, ever since Philipp was able to get the first units out by getting the dogs up over here just in time to take advantage of his faster uptime to the fuel H. Andre was on the back foot, and now in the end, Philipp is going to equalize the series. And that's going to put us in a 2-2 set over here. So we are going to have a full series for the first one of the day. Game number 5 is coming up in a moment. Let's go through the achievements before jumping into the decider to see who moves on to the decider series, the round of 18. And taking a look at military, we'll see a better KD for Philipp by a lot. It's actually 7-5. And what am I talking about over here? It's not 7-5. No, sorry. It's 17-10. For economy, on the other hand, we have a better economy for Andre, but it did not matter. And it's very surprising, actually, that Andre was the one with the stronger economy. Sure, Philipp had a little bit of extra idle TC time. But with all the pressure that he put, you would expect that to be the other way around. Not like this. However, of course, because of the KD favoring Philipp so much more, with a very close to 2-to-1 KD ratio, the extra resources that Andre collected, he basically spent just trying to keep up with military, and it did not work out. He went for extra units, and in the end, it was not enough. For society, we see a stronger society for Andre as well. Well done. And yeah, let's just go back and jump into game number 5. And here we are, guys. The final one in the series. See who's going to move on to the round of 18. Who's going to move on to the Decider series. And we're going to have Franks for Andre, for the blue player. He's going to be playing towards the northwest. And Philipp, he's got Khmer. He's playing towards the southeast. Ravines is a map that we saw oftentimes in the past, mainly T90's tournaments. You know, you're going to notice these patterns sometimes. Like T90's tournaments are going to have several of the same maps. Sometimes that's going to be the case for Mamb as well. That's going to be the case also for Huevo Coyotls tournaments, my tournaments as well. Like we seem to always gravitate towards the same maps for our tournament map pools. And Ravines is certainly not going to be the first time that we see it over here. However, for anybody who might not be familiar with this one, or you know, in case you haven't seen this one in a while, as a quick reminder, Ravines is going to have your TC start on top of the hill, surrounded by, well, go figure, Ravines. And what this does is it makes it kind of harder for you to just play around your starting TC. In a sense, right? Because the resources are at the bottom over here. If we see Andre go and collect gold from here, for instance, right? From the 4 goal, he's going to be susceptible to taking extra damage by units attacking from a higher elevation from outside. However, of course, if we are to see the red player be the one to bring some units over here to try and push the units away by melee aggression, then Andre's TC is going to have the heal advantage against any units in the ravines. So it's a little harder to put pressure with melee units, but it's going to be a little bit harder also to collect these resources against range units. And it doesn't even need to be units. We could potentially see for the red players something like a tower around here could still be very effective, right? Anyway, it's going to be the same type of map generation for both these players. Ravines is very consistent. There is one difference though. If we take a look at Andre, he's got 1 goal on the back, which is still huge. This one, fantastic. And then the other goal is going to be 4, so that is not the greatest, right? Meanwhile, for stone, we have the stone on the left-hand side, we have the stone on the right-hand side. So those are going to be side resources. While Philipp, instead, the red player, he's got the goals to the sides, and it's going to be the stones instead, which he's got 1 forward and 1 on the back. Both these players already have the map surrounded by outposts as well, so they're going to have some good vision, especially as they go up through the ages. The vision of the outpost is going to get better. They're going to have a pretty good idea of when any enemy units might be coming, right? But for the time being, this is all that Philipp knows. He's banking on the outpost to potentially spot any drushes or anything like that. So instead, he's just going to try to use the scout to push the Ibex over here towards the DC. And this is looking like having almost no vision, right? It's so weird to see. When you're spectating games for so long, you have full vision. It's always kind of weird to see the players have such little scouting information. For Philipp, mainly because Andre, at the very least, he's taken the time to send the scout around, and he's got some information, you know, about what the map looks like around. But you take a look at Philipp, and he's got almost no idea of where even the wood lines were, right? He spotted this one, so he sent the villagers over there, but yeah, he's basically in the dark right now. Village is coming out for both these guys. Philipp's gonna be the first one to go up. And we didn't really talk about civilizations. We can do that really quickly, starting with Andre's civilization, the Franks. We'll get, first off, 20% extra HP on cavalry units starting in the fuel age. 15% faster working foragers, as well as 25% cheaper castles and free farm upgrades will kind of round up the civilization bonuses for Franks. Well, for the team bonus, we'll see for the bull player that he'll get 2 extra line of sight on night line units. Philipp, instead, playing with the Khmer, will get the noble requirements. He'll get with Khmer. There we go. Village here. Farmers do not need mills or TCs to drop food on. The ability to garrison village inside houses, and then for the team bonus, we also have for Khmer. 1 extra range on Scorpion line weapons. Scouts are already on the way for Philipp. Andre is going for the stable a little bit later. He's got the scouts on the way as well, and Philipp already knows about this. This is much better scouting. Now that he's actually stopped pushing the Abex around and he's taking the time to go forward. So not too shabby. Not too shabby. Beautiful. Nice unit control over there, though, for both these players trying to leverage the hill. Allows Philipp to actually somewhat keep up over here, otherwise would have been rough. Because of the extra HP for Andre, right? At the very least, so long as Philipp doesn't research bloodlines, which is going to put him once again in a better position. Khmer are a very interesting civilization over here. Not having building requirements means that you save on the wood that you would otherwise have needed to spend into the barracks, right? If you're going to go for scouts, you can just go for the stable and just skip the barracks. While that will put you at a disadvantage when going forward because your opponent is going to have spearmen while you won't. You do have the ability to garrison your villagers, so you're probably not any more susceptible to damage than your enemy is because of them having spearmen and you have the ability to garrison your villagers. However, saving the resources over there and not only not having to go for the barracks but also not having to pay for the spearmen means they are probably more likely to be able to afford bloodlines, potentially scale bard armor. And while you do not get free Horde Scholar for the Khmer, their farmers are still pretty strong. They are going to work more efficiently compared to other civilizations, so the farms are not going to be quite as cost efficient, you know, but they are going to be very, very effective in terms of getting your resources in. So that should give you enough extra food eventually through time, you know, to go for Scholar. Shouldn't take too long for you to get like 75 extra food just from the farms. So far, Philipp's been playing defensive for the most part. He's done a really good job. He's got the defender's advantage right now. Could try and take the engagement. He's got to be careful. No bloodlines. No scaled bard and armor for Philipp just yet. Andre Whale. Andre's trying to calculate this. He does not want to take an unfavorable trade. Notice how he took so many tries to get past the outpost over here. He was just trying to wait until the scouts were not in a position to fight anymore. Now we see the engagement coming up over here. It's going to be a huge one. Philipp's got much stronger army over here. A much higher HP pool as well. So Andre, despite having the spearman over there, gets completely pushed out. If he took the engagement over here, he would have gotten completely wiped out. And in the end, seems like the bull player is only going to manage to get one scout down. Not even one scout down. He's just going to get one outpost. Not even the outpost. He stopped targeting the outpost now. Philipp is looking so good. Taking a look at the scout count, we have 12 for the red player. We have 6 for the bull player. And even though he's got a spearman over there, what is one spearman going to do when your opponent's got double the army? So this is a huge engagement coming up right now. This gives Philipp a great lead. As you take a look, Andre struggles. There we are. And Philipp, well, it's coming in. It's gonna try and start getting some damage done, of course. It's got the numbers. Still 10. Versus about, how many scouts do we have over here? 6 scouts, 10 versus 6 scouts, right? We have a few extra coming over from Philipp as well. 13 versus 6 scouts. The spearmen are getting to dangerous numbers though, and if Philipp's to take the engagement over here, is most likely not going to end up getting cleaned up. Or maybe not cleaned up, but at the very least he's going to lose the lead because of the spearman over there. So he's roaming around, and he's done a really good job. Notice how Andre is actually chasing the scouts very, very far into the open, while Philipp instead, he was roaming around. If he turned around the woodland over here, came back towards Andre's army and took the engagement, then Andre would have been completely destroyed. In the end, Philipp couldn't really find the scouts in time. And now he's coming forward once again, realizes about the spearman, goes back. Tries to roam around. He cannot really take the engagement over here. Many of these are very low HP, and while he's getting foraging, which is going to help against the spearman, he does not have bloodlines. He does not have scale bar than armor or so. When it comes to scouts on scout action, it seems like Philipp's still going to struggle over here, especially if he fights uphill against Andre, when Andre's got the TC to fully garrison, he's got the extra HP still. And of course, fighting from uphill would give Andre a very strong lead, right? So Philipp's going for bloodlines. While Andre's going after the castle age, Philipp seems like he's going to go for a full feudal approach over here. Even if he's got a single stable to work with, the amount of military units he was able to get out of it so much higher compared to what Andre was able to get out of his own stable. As he's getting scale bar than armor, he's going to wait until he gets all the upgrades before he takes the engagement, and this is going to make or break the game. If Andre survives against the fully upgraded units, let's take a look at the numbers once again. We have 19 over here versus 9 and 6 spearmen. Yeah, I'm not too positive about Andre's position over here. Sorry, about Philipp's position over here. With the heal advantage, I feel like Andre's spearmen are going to be so much stronger. But now these are fully upgraded, guys. Here comes the engagement. Philipp is roaming around. This is open. This is open. It's open. But he's not coming in. He's gonna try and take the engagement right now, and here comes the spearmen. The scouts should be able to come out on top from Philipp for sure. Against the scout from Andre, it seems like it's not going to be even close. Philipp's going to have a lot of extra units over here, and the spearmen get completely wiped out too. So it's not just the scouts that Andre ended up losing over there, but also a lot of defensive spearmen, which is going to leave. Is gonna be completely exposed. And yes, he got to the castle age, but what does he have to show for the one night against 15 scouts? And this is still open. He's not coming in. It's open, isn't it? It is open, just not realizing about it. And there's so many villagers going down by the second. Andre already fell behind by 13 villagers. Oh, it's not open. The houses are connected over here. The elevation played tricks on me, so I mistook this for a hole. But yeah, castle into GG, man. I mean, Andrew's not calling it yet, but he's taking so many losses. By the time Philipp gets to the castle edge himself, he'll still be ahead, but at the very least 6 to 7 villagers. It's gonna be still going to be pretty strong because of the Khmer farmers. He's got another stable coming up, and that's gonna be the 3rd stable for him. So what does Andre do against Philipp over here when the red player's got a much stronger economy and a much stronger production potential as well, a much more robust infrastructure to work with? And we see the scouts coming over. He's gonna try and trade for villagers, because obviously you cannot really fight the knights off with scouts. Just going after the villagers. In the end, won't be able to get too many villagers down over here. So he gets cleaned up for the most part, but you take a look at the villager count, and now as Philipp gets to the castle age, he finds himself 9 workers ahead compared to Andre. Triple stable production. The knights are coming out very soon, and it's going to be Andre's little time window over here to get some damage done. So he's getting the push going. He does end up getting a few villages down, make that 3-4 villages going down so far. But Philipp gets the knights right away, and Andre gets pushed back. The defensive advantage over here is going to allow the red player to stay in the game, and well, Andre's got some momentum over here. And getting the villagers down certainly helped him keep the villager lead from Philipp kind of under control a little bit. Because the red player had so many extra villagers for such a long time. You take a look at gather economy time. And Philipp's got right now 43 extra minutes of gather economy time compared to Andre. So of course, man. Of course that's gonna allow him to queue 5 freaking knights over here. He already managed to match up Andre for knight count. It's gonna be very soon on 11 knights while Andre is gonna be on 10. Yeah, and you know what? We have more knights coming out than Philipp. It's looking very darn strong. He's got bloodlines. He's got chain barden armor as well, which Andre's not gone for yet. So that's +2/+2, which makes a huge difference. So far, Andre's been able to survive. And not only that, because of the second TC, he's actually gotten ahead in work account against Philipp. Red player's got a lot of extra TC time over here. And it certainly seemed as if the game was over for Andre just a few minutes ago. But as we said in one of the previous sets from this tournament, at this level, players are still going to make somewhat big mistakes, somewhat frequently enough that you cannot really expect a big lead at one point to secure the game for anyone. And in the end, Andre was able to put himself on the lead over here. Now Philipp once again on a much stronger military count though. Let's take a look. What is the gathering now? Let's take a look. Still stronger for Philipp, but it's getting close. And there is a huge engagement coming out. The HP pool for these units favors Philipp. He's got a lot of extra knights. And it seems like he's going to come out on top as well. It seems like this is over as Andre calls good game. Philipp's going to be the one, guys, to come out on top in game number 5 to move on to the round of 18, where he'll be facing a new opponent for a chance. Participating in the Gold League. But Andre gets knocked out. Philipp is going to come in over here with the upset, if I'm not mistaken, I think, right? Let's take a look at the achievements. For military, an SKD for Philipp. It was better overall. 50-43. About 7-6 or so. For economy, we have a stronger economy for Philipp as well. In the end, he ended up collecting a few extra resources, although Andre was getting very close, right? So what happened over there is not that complicated. Andre went for a second TC. He started producing villagers a lot more heavily as well, and he managed to get himself ahead in work account. But that came at a cost that prevented him from going for extra military units while Philipp was focusing on military production the whole time. Because of that, when Philipp came forward with all the knights, he was able to get a better engagement against Andre. He was able to get, a much higher value out of the engagement, because by the time Andre got cleaned up, Philipp still had enough units to keep on raiding with, and that was going to be enough for him to catch up in villager count, or to bring Andre's villager count down as well. So it's just a matter of how you use your resources, right? The economy over here is going to reveal about 500 extra resources only for Philipp, but you gotta keep in mind that all his economy he utilized for military production, while Andre spent a lot of this trying to set up a stronger economy that was going to pay off, further down the road, but not right away. So Philipp recognized that, he took advantage of it beautifully, and he ended up taking game number 5. Well done, Philipp 3, Andre 2.